What's up, YouTube? Ian's World 219 coming at you with some more Supercross 25 content. Now, before we get into that, I wanted to give you guys a quick little recap of the race we just seen today at Philadelphia. That's right, Cole Davies, he's young, he's fast, he looks light on the bike, and he's making waves in the pro circuit. This could easily be his breakout moment. Cole comes out swinging today at Philadelphia and he takes that #1 spot on the podium. Back-to-back first place finishes for Davies. He is looking like quite the competitor. Very interesting stuff, guys. Cole Davies is out there. He's looking like a bit of a monster on that 250. I'm sure this kid's confidence is through the roof. I'm sure this kid feels like $1,000,000, man, after getting back-to-back first place finishes on the podium with Seattle and now here in Philadelphia. Alright, just to put things into perspective, during the heat race, we did see Deegan and Davies having a little bit of a battle. Ultimately, Deegan was able to overtake Davies fairly easy, it appeared, and Deegan secures the #1 finish in the heat race. Now, moving into the main event, we did get the red flag restart. They had not even completed 3 laps yet, so we get a whole fresh restart. And it looks like Cole Davies was able to kick things into an entirely different gear. At one point in the race, with about 3 to 4 minutes left, Davies was gapping the pack by about 5.25 seconds. Now, one thing to take note of, Deegan was able to close that gap, and by the time we got to 2 laps left, Deegan had closed that gap with Davies to 1.25 seconds. Just a little bit too late for Deegan, and ultimately, Davies is able to come out there swinging, man. He gets the second back-to-back first place finish. I'm sure this kid is feeling himself right now. Very interesting to say the least. Alright, boys, now we just got to touch on it in regards to the Hayden Deegan versus Beaumaire beef this week at Philadelphia. We didn't really see anything pop off. These guys were very competitive in the heat race. However, in the main event, Deegan leaves Beaumaire in the dust. Beaumaire was not able to secure a top 10 finish, and I think Hayden's the kind of kid who's going to let his racing speak for itself, so we'll just kind of have to see what comes of this beef. However, it is worth noting that Beaumaire was on record this week kind of saying he wants to leave this whole thing in the past, and it was really just serving as a distraction to him. Of course, last things last, the 450 main event, we see Chase Sexton pull off a big win. It felt long overdue, man. When this guy is on. He's the fastest guy out there, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this championship shapes up. Is Cooper Webb going to be able to hang on, or is Chase Sexton really going to find that rhythm and overtake Webb for the championship? You gotta love it. After that quick little recap, boys, we're getting into the 2025 Supercross content. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a bike setup. I'm going to be showing you guys a quick little shortcut you can use to get those bike manufacturers to level 15 in no time. Alright, what you're going to want to do is go to Time Attack. Once you get into Time Attack, you're going to pull up the track selection, make your way to the custom tracks, and pull up the most downloaded filter. It should come up in the first 5 to 10 tracks. I'll include a picture of it right now, but you should be able to find it fairly easily. Again, it's going to be called XP Short Track. Now, I've tested a lot of these different tracks, and by far, this is the most optimal map to run this strategy. Alright, so what you're going to want to do, come in here to Time Attack, remove all the riding aids. Once you got the map loaded up, launch this thing, come in here, bang out 100 laps, and leave at 100. Now, I say that because there is an XP cap. I've tested this quite a bit. If you do more than 100 laps, or you think you could just come in here and bang out 400 or 500 laps and be done with it, there is an XP cap, so it's just better to leave at 100 than to just waste your time. So, I've tested this stacked up against actual racing, and it seems like with certain races, if you do realistic difficulty and you run the same exact track, you get about 5,500 XP. However, it's worth taking into account that it takes substantially longer to run one of those races. So, by far, this is easily the most optimal way to get those bikes from rank 1 to 15. I would definitely recommend using this XP method. Just remember, no more than 100 laps, on Time Attack, 4,500 XP per about 8 to 10 minutes. Do yourself a favor. This is going to save you countless hours and just get you to the point in about under an hour where you can have that bike from level 1 to 15. Go in there to, customization. Create the bike you want. Your perfect bike. You don't have to worry about having all the stuff locked. get it done, you knock it out real quickly with this XP method and get to doing what you're actually trying to do. And for the final part of the video, we got a little bit of customization options I'm going to show off right here, the bike setup and some fast laps on Philly. It was only right with it being race day today. So here we go with some of this customization stuff. Just wanted to show this off just in case you're new to the series, you might be missing this. So these are custom community made suits. There's a suit editor, a helmet editor, and a bike graphics editor. So for the first time in this game, man, you're getting to use all these jerseys that are made by the community. I mean, you see these logos on the jersey, man. The game doesn't allow you to just, add in a Rockstar logo. You're having to make this all by hand. I don't know if anybody remembers the crazy paint jobs that people used to make in Forza back in the day, but that's the level of craft that's going into making some of these community creations. So this is really cool, man. You can run your own bike preset where you put all the parts on there you want and then still have a bike that kind of looks reminiscent to something you would see on race day. It's fairly easy to do. Just go over to custom when you pull up the bike editor. You want to change your livery, your suit, or helmet. It's all the same. Just click over to custom. Clicking on the stick again, it's going to pull up a filter. Just go to most downloaded and you'll be able to see the most downloaded creations that the community has made so far. So it's really a cool feature. It's cool to see that in there. Now, the bike setup and the fast laps on Philly. And here it is. This bike setup is sick. I've had about 13-14 hours in the game so far. I've been testing with this heavily. The bike setups, they have so much more weight in this game just because the physics are that much better. But this bike setup specifically, you can run it in a 450. You can run it in a 250. It's not going to make much difference. I've tested it on both. This bike setup specializes in giving you the best cornering. It's going to allow you to maintain some of that grip when you try to rail it out of a corner. And it's going to also still give you that acceleration you need to hit your lines. Overall, this bike feels very loose. It feels like you could really huck it around. It just feels good to me, and I think you're going to be able to get some good fast laps on this thing because it's sick. Wanted to touch on this part right here because this is entirely different with the bike setup. My last setup video with that #1 hot lap on Denver, we wasn't messing around with this at all. Right here, I've heard a lot of people complaining, oh, I can't slingshot out of corners the way I want to because my bike keeps losing grip. I've even heard people say some crazy wild stuff like, oh, you should just play on standard physics because the bike's too slippery. Skill issue, bruh. What you're going to want to do is you come in here, you look at some of these specific settings I got. There's actually a setting that adjusts how much grip you have out the corners. If you feel still like that's not cutting it even with this bike setup, this part's optional right here. You can adjust gear 1 and 2 to be a slight positive, kind of the way I showed, and it's going to a little bit alter the acceleration profile where you might get a little bit more stick coming out of those corners. I'm enjoying it. It's optional to run, but I feel like it's worth pointing out, especially if you're having an issue with maintaining traction while coming out of turns. And last things last, wrapping it all up, we got the fast lap, the hot laps on Philly, running that brand new bike setup, rocking that community created suit, that community created graphics kit. It's gonna be the 450 Gas Rockstar Edition. Now, this bike setup again, it specializes in giving you the best cornering. Well, the adjustments to the gear ratio are gonna give you a little bit more grip when you're trying to slingshot out of them things. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Enjoy these couple laps I threw together. If you guys got any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone about anything Supercross related. Or if you just need a little clarification on something, I'm more than happy to help. I hope everyone has a blessed day. Hope everybody enjoyed that race at Philly. Peace be with y'all. Later.